Hi, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you caught the last episode where I discussed the issue of zoning. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about topography and whether or not it's important for you as a land buyer or property buyer. You're watching Own Land in Kenya. I am Solomon Wangwe.
That's good.
Topography basically means the gradient of a piece of land. What does the surface of a piece of land look like? Is it hilly? Is it rocky? Is it flat? And so on. That has to do with elevation, up or downwards. And this is something that is not required for government and statutory processes to be concluded. In actual fact, when you do a survey of a property, they typically will not cover the topography. They'll only cover boundary and measurement aspects of a property. A topographic survey is something you have to make a request for subsequent to a normal survey. And that is only critical to you as a land buyer, depending on what you want to use the property for. Even when it's for farming purposes, it may not make sense to buy a hilly property because it's costlier to terrace it and create flat surfaces for the crop to grow. If that's important to you, then you need to do a topographic survey. In most cases, you can simply make a decision by visual cues when you visit the site. You can tell this place is too hilly for growing wheat or maize or whatever the case may be. In some cases, for example, like residential purposes, if you're looking for a place to build, say, a weekend holiday getaway cottage, right? And it's gonna be overlooking Lake Victoria, for example. In that case, you might prefer something with some gradient, something that's sloping. Why? Because that makes for great viewing. If you have platforms and slabs sticking out of your property and creating patios and so on, where you can overlook the lake without any obstructions to your view. So this is the reason why, or this is when topographic surveys become important and the issue of topography might count. So on that note, I'll basically say it depends on what you want to do with the property. A licensed surveyor will do that for you. It'll be very detailed, they'll have reports, and this might also actually come in handy later on when you're selling. You may not have an intention to do anything with the property yourself. You're making a long-term land banking investment, as it were. You're putting 30% of your savings into a hard asset, as we typically recommend that you do, especially in Kenya, because the returns are great over long periods of time. But it might make sense to get the topographic survey done as a value addition for your future buyer, so that you can say, hey, I own this property, I've owned it for a while, I want to liquidate it at the moment. It has clear ownership documentation, here they are, and there's also a topographic survey, so you don't have to do one. And that could be a great way to set your property up for a quick sale in the future. I hope that helps. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Send us an email at inquiry@goshenacquisitions.com. Take a look at our website. We have tons of information on there, especially the grandacres.co.ke website, which is a website owned by Goshen Acquisitions. We'll have some information on some of the properties that we're making available. You can also give us a call directly at 07-0001-0001. Again, that's 07-0001-0001. We'll be more than happy to hear from you. You're watching Own Land in Kenya. I'm Solomon Wangwe. Stay tuned for more information on strategic land investment.